guys, so we are back again at Olympia Muscle and Fitness. Today we are about 10 weeks out. We got back on the menu today. It's gonna be another heavy session. As always, I'm gonna take you through some exercises, some heavy rows, and some heavy lifts, and hopefully you can take some things from it. One thing I'd want to talk about with you guys is just appreciating the support that all you guys are showing. Every video, you know, views have been going up. You guys have been subscribing, and that means a lot. You know, this is the first time I'm giving this a shot with the whole YouTube channel and following me through prep and all that. And for you guys to be a part of it and coming along for the journey, especially for the first time doing this, is nice. And you know, the comments are nice. So thank you guys again for all the support, and we're gonna go crush this workout. Just a little insight on I guess how the diet's going. For those of you, I'm sure you know, Coach Little Joe has been helping me along this prep with the training, diet, everything. I owe it to him. Today we did a pretty crazy refeed day. So we upped the carbs by, I'd say triple, maybe even 4 times the amount than what I normally have. So it should be good. It should be a really sick pump today. You know, even strength, in terms of strength, by having those carbs, it'll help you, you know, push through and still continue to stay strong throughout your prep. A lot of things that I realize that people do is they tend to drop their carbs way too low and too fast, too quick. You want to kind of really squeeze the most out of whatever you can. And you know, carbs equal energy, right? So if you can maintain as much carbs as you can while still balancing that fat loss, you know, your workouts will still be strong, intense, and you won't sacrifice that effort, you know. So this refeed day will be good. It'll be a good shock to the body, and we'll see how things go. First exercise for today is just a warm up. I like to do some wide grip pull downs. This is just to open up the back, open up the lats. We're just going for feeler sets, 20 reps, 2 sets of it. And then we're gonna be moving on to the dumbbell rows bent over. So that'll be one of the more strength movements along with the barbell rows. But right now, let's hit up the pull downs. Yeah, you wanna make sure everything's firing properly and warm before going into any heavy movements, especially with back. We just feel this out, 20 reps, no crazy weight, just to get everything flowing. So we'll do another set of 20, and then onto the dumbbell rows. All right, guys. So next exercise for today will be 1-arm dumbbell rows, bent over. I like doing these over the rack. It's a lot more planted. You know, you feel a lot more safe bending over on a rack opposed to a bench. I feel like the bench is a lot of movement, and that can throw off your mind-muscle connection while hitting the lats. So one thing with this gym, the way they label their dumbbells with just some chalk, you know, makes it a little hard to find, but I guess it adds to the atmosphere, you know? I wouldn't change it. Once again, I like using wrist wraps. It just takes away all the effort in your forearms and allows you just to isolate the lat. You know, a lot of times the forearm gives out before the lat or your actual back. So to go to true failure, it actually makes more sense to use a wrist wrap opposed to just your regular grip. So being smart when working on what you want to train that day. Of course, grip strength is important, but at the same time, we're training back, so let's focus on our back. So a couple things you want to note, especially on these movements, is You want a big stretch at the bottom, and then a really good full contraction up to the top of the movement. You know, you don't want any short reps. You want to go full stretch, and then squeeze all the way straight through to your waist, and then back down. That'll give you full activation on your lats. Another thing, I just like to use the top rack. So wherever you're deciding to do your bent over row, just take off that dumbbell off the top rack, so you can put your hand there, and then just crank it out from there. Just a couple tips, beginner tips. Alright guys, so next exercise we got is the bent over barbell row. We're going for 2 warm-up sets, 2 working sets, 10 to 12 reps. This is going to be the strength builder and the muscle builder, I guess you can say, in terms of exercises today. It's something you really want to push for strength and load up the weight, but also maintain form always. Now, a couple things you want to always remember when hitting a bent over barbell row is you want to imagine a broomstick is going down your back, and you want to be about a little less than 45. You don't want to be parallel. Well, for today's workout, we're not going to be parallel. We're going to be about 45, maybe just shy of that. And imagine a broom going down your back where you're keeping it straight and everything's tight and in line. And you want to be cranking it to your waist. You don't want to be swinging. You don't want to be throwing around the weight. You want to keep everything tight, big stretch on the bottom, just like the dumbbell, and cranking it to your waist and up. Crank it nice and tight. And we're out. Just sucks when you're training for strength while being in prep, you know, because it's a mental game, you know. You know you're not getting your calories in. You know you're not, you know, at your strongest, but you still got to push through it, no matter what. That'll keep the fullness, or as much fullness as possible, while dieting down. And of course, always keeping good form. The moment you sacrifice form, there's no point. I may need to throw some music on this one. Some sets you just need that extra push, oomph, you know. When it's a quiet, dead gym, you need some, you know, some craziness in your head, right? My iPod or my playlist would be like, you know, bands like Parkway Drive, or Slipknot, or, you know, old school Metallica, Pantera, you know. Lately I've been really into Parkway Drive, so they've been getting me through the sets. So I think I'm gonna throw them on right now.
It actually helps you push, like,
yeah, man.
An extra rep or two.
Well, you know what it is? It's like, fuck, when I listen to certain songs, it reminds me of, is this filming or no, yeah? Okay, when I listen to certain songs, it reminds me of like certain times in my life and like shit that just brings you back to points that, like, you know, not that you don't want to remember, but it's those dark points in your life. So if you can reconnect to those dark points, but then transfer it all into the weight and just crank it out, it's like you're letting out all those demons with, you know. So listen to certain things, just take me back to those times, you know. So let's see how this goes. that 10? That's 10. Fuck. It's crazy what some music can do, you know? Corey Taylor. Never goes wrong. Alright guys, next exercise for today. We got the close grip pull downs. Luckily, Olympia has the mag grips. These allow for a lot better contraction and a better mind muscle connection when doing pull downs. Anything with the overhead grip. It allows you to actually grip on this part of the handles opposed to just a regular straight bar. I feel like it's a lot better contraction. So you want a big stretch at the top, pull it all the way down. We did a lot of heavy compounds, a lot of bent over compounds for thickness. Now we're working on width and stretching all that muscle out and pulling it down just to get everything released and work on that width. So let's get to it. Things to help bring up your back would be hitting it twice a week in your split. You know, focusing on the heavy compounds with proper form, like we went over, and then knowing when to hit width. You know, the proper balance between the two, and most importantly, connecting to that muscle. You can keep going through every movement over and over, but if you're not connecting with that muscle, you're not working anything. You could do it for 2 hours slinging around weights, but if you're not connecting and feeling that back, you're not going to see any progress, you're not going to see any results. So the main thing is always connecting with that muscle group you're trying to work with. Being in prep, you want to be training harder and longer. Use up all the calories you get in just to burn that fat, pull off that water. Everything's going as planned though, so Joe's happy with things. I'm happy with things. Being about 10 weeks out right now, we're in a good position. The show should be interesting. Alright guys, next exercise for today, we got the machine T-bar rows. This is a really old school machine. To be honest, I haven't seen any other machines like this anywhere else. Being elevated on the platforms, it allows for a deeper stretch on the bottom of the movement, and it also resembles a free weight, like a free barbell row, T-bar row. So this is going to be 2 warm-up sets, 2 working sets, 8 to 10. You want to focus on strength. You want to make sure your elbows are tight, close to your body, and you want to be cranking it through your lower chest. And then big stretch, crank through your lower chest. So 2 warm-up sets, 2 working sets. Let's get it. So second last exercise of today, we have the neutral wide grip cable row. What I like to do here is set up a dumbbell on the actual cable row seat. This allows you to be, your placement to be a bit higher than the cables. So whereas when you'd be sitting down on the bench with your feet up, you would be in line with the cables. When you're sitting on a dumbbell, you're much higher, and it allows you to crank through your waist and hit your lower lats more and get that better mind muscle connection. So we're just doing 2 warm-up sets, 2 working sets again, 10 to 12 reps, and just pump the blood through it. Okay guys, final exercise for today. It'll be straight arm pullovers on the cable. One thing you guys should note is the grips that I'm using. I'm not using a traditional rope. They look a little bit ghetto, I guess you can say, or worn out, but the longer the grip or the longer of the rope that you use on this exercise, the better connection you're gonna get. By using a longer rope, you're gonna be able to pull through your entire waist, opposed to having a smaller regular size rope where you would be stopping that movement. So by using a longer rope, you'll be able to get a bigger stretch and contraction, opposed to using a smaller rope and stopping earlier in that movement. Another thing to note, I like to use a plate. I like to put my heels on the plate, so I'm actually tilted towards the exercise. This allows more of an emphasis on a bigger stretch of the lat at the top of the movement and a bigger contraction on the bottom. So what you do, yeah, exactly. So go on your heels. You can be a little bit more inclined, yeah, perfect. And now just bring it straight through to your whole waist. Exactly, but arms straight. Remember, arms always straight. You never want to bend them. Exactly, and you want to lean into it. So even how you transfer your weight. So basically, yeah, pull it, and now kind of go with the weight as you're, yeah, there you go, and now bring it back. Yeah, perfect. Okay guys, so that concludes the back workout. I'm gonna be blasting a couple of calf exercises. You know, it's just something I feel like I really want to work on during this prep. So some donkey calf raises and some straight seated calf raises. We're gonna be doing that, a couple sets back to back, supersetted, maybe 20 reps each exercise, back to back, 3 sets. So let's get it. All right guys, so we are about 10 weeks out. It's a little bit early to do some posing routines right now, but we'll go through some mandatories anyways. I'll take you through, you know, like the quarter turn, side chest, side tricep, and we'll see how things are looking right now at about 10 weeks out. You know, cardio hasn't really been pushed too much, diet hasn't been really pushed too much, so now we're at the point where things are really getting into motion. So I think each week moving on forward, you guys will be seeing changes. So come along for the journey and let's see what happens. We got side chest. That's that.
Sick.
Those are all the mandatories, right? I've been working with Joe. You know, we do video chats, one-on-ones, in regards to like, you know, correcting posing, making sure everything's all right, you know, proper breathing, proper technique. So it's a work in progress, but by the 10 weeks that go by, I think we're really gonna nail it. So we'll see as each week goes by, and you guys will see the changes every time. So, and honestly, it would be nice for me to have these anyways, you know, as a memory looking back on all this and this journey, you know, even for myself, and, you know, look at it as a reference, right? Because we all start somewhere. So that concludes today's back workout. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at JON.XL. And yeah, let me know in the comments below what you want to see next, and I'll get to it for you guys. Thank you.